here, man. There's no question. Fox 29's Garry Cobb. And hey, listen, I'll say it before I bring Garry on. You're 11-2. That's a heck of a football team. Your quarterback's not. He's just not. He's regressed. I mean, he's predictable. Now, Garry may completely disagree with me on this, but I'll tell you what. The Panthers are going to pick 4th in the NFL draft in April. 4th. That's not a playoff contending team. Let's bring G. Cobb in and get his take from Fox 29. I'll tell you what, Garry. I know this. Garry, I don't feel well and good about the win because the players of the Eagles don't feel good about the win. How do you feel about the win and what you saw against the Panthers yesterday?
I didn't like it. I mean, I think that anybody being honest, can't say that they like it. And that's why, I didn't really some of the guys criticizing A.J. Brown. What do you expect him to do? He just said, what is our problem? What is the challenge? Our passing game. You got to lie to everybody? And look, Jalen has to know, well, he knows they're not getting it done. Now, all the different reasons, I can't say I know the specifics, but clearly Jalen Hurts, I mean, I can see that he's an issue. He's just not playing well. He's not seeing guys that are open, and that's a problem. And so I see all these guys jumping on A.J. Brown because after the game, he comes out to ask him, he says, hey, it's our passing game. He didn't say Jalen, because he has a hand in it. The other guys have a hand in it. But look, right now, they got to cut the BS. They do not have time to be sitting there holding people's hand. I mean, if they do not straighten this out, they are not going to beat the better teams. Like they got the game next week against Pittsburgh. They're going to get a chance to see. There are not too many teams better than Pittsburgh, especially the way they're playing right now. If they do not have a passing game, they got no shot. Come on, who's kidding who? And there are going to be some games where they're going to slow down Saquon. Don't expect where he's going to run for 200 yards against everybody. That's not going to work like that. And so their passing game is going to have to step up. And so, I was listening to the guys and some of the guys here, some friends of mine and stuff, complaining about A.J. Brown saying it's the passing game.
No way.
Come on. I mean, what do you want him to do? And Jalen Hurts after the game, he admitted that he's part of the issue. So they have got to improve things. They got guys running open, like I see, the second or third play of the game,
wide open.
He runs a corner. He's wide open.
Wide open.
Come on, and this is not high school kids. These guys are getting paid millions and millions of dollars to know what they're doing and everything. And right now, Jalen is not getting it done. And he's got to see the field better, and they need to do it, ASAP. They do not have a whole lot of time to make this correction because the season is winding down, and they need to play better. There's no question about it. Defensively, they didn't have one of the better games. Even though I got to give Carolina credit, they're playing better. The kid that was drafted #1, there's a reason. That kid is crafty. He doesn't have a gun of an arm, but he is crafty, and he can really make things happen. And he's a good athlete back there at quarterback. So they gave them problems. It's a game the Eagles should not have won the game. Kid drops a touchdown at the end. I mean, they should not have won that game. So they got to play better. So
how about this, Garry? This is the problem here. And again, I know he's missed starts, but this is per start. A.J. Brown right now is 42nd most targeted wide receiver in the league, and Devontae Smith is the 45th most targeted. I mean, and people will go like this, and here's the excuse you like to hear that people make. Well, they're running the ball more at a higher clip. Well, Baltimore and Detroit run the ball at 30 times a carry, 30 times a game, but they also turn around and they have one of the best passing offenses in football. And by the way, both of those three offenses are top 3. The only problem is that the Eagles are down near the 3rd worst passing offense in pro football. So I ask you, it's either 3 things, Garry. It's either pass protection, play calling, or execution?
Yeah.
Which do you lean on that you think it is?
Wait, say those again. Okay.
There's 3 things you know in a passing game that is going to affect the passing game. Is it play calling, pass protection, or execution?
It's clearly execution. To me, it's execution because I see routes where guys are open, and I'm not going to put all this on Jalen, but I can see that, come on, there's a guy running wide open. The quarterback's got to get him the ball. They got an outstanding offensive line. I mean, he's under pressure at times, but not a lot. I mean, they're winning most of the time. There's plenty of time. You got a pocket that is, strong and solid. So and he's got to step up. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Now you've seen playing games around it. Jalen has to play the way he's capable. He's shown he can play on that level. He got to step up, and he's got to play on that level if they are going to win. And we're not talking about them winning a game in the playoffs, because they could get certain teams in the playoffs and they get in there and run for 200 yards, 300 yards. That's true. I'm talking about winning the whole thing, which is what they want. They started out the season. This has been their commitment. And then the more you see the talent on the team, especially ways the young kids have come around on the defensive side, they have the talent to do it. The whole thing is everybody going to make sure they do their job? Now, I know if I'm on that team, I'm not looking at the guy across sitting in me in the locker. I'm looking at myself. I got to do my job. And I'm sure that everybody feels that way. And Jalen said yesterday, he knows he did not play up to the level he needs to play up to. And the whole question is, what needs to be done to get that done? That's all that matters. They got to get that done because they're capable of winning this thing. But everybody's got to play at the level they need to play at in order to get it done. And later for the whole hand, I don't want to hear anybody crying about, well, he shouldn't have said passing. I'm going, are you kidding me? Well, he can't say it's our passing game that needs to improve. Well, that means he's pointing at Jalen. And what if he is? But he didn't even do that. He didn't call out his name or anything. But the thing is, anybody looking at the game can see it. Come on, when you go back and look at the tape, this guy's wide open. Come on. So later for all the hand holding, man.
When did it become wrong in Philly, to be honest? I thought that was one of the things that really that market was really known for, was that the media was honest, and also that sometimes it was criticism that was going to be honest. What would happen to that when you look at a game and you watch a season and you look at a passing game and you look at it and that passing game is not where it needs to be, and the quarterback, the reason he makes $51 million, this is on his ass.
That's right.
I mean, why is that a problem? Most of the time, I'm on AJ. This is one of the very few times I went like this.
Yeah.
I saw 7 open passes that he kept the ball and ran the RPO, and he was wide open. I mean, I don't think he was wrong here.
Like I said, he did not call out anybody's name. But clearly, however you want to state it, the passing game and everybody involved in it, that's what's got to improve if they want to get done what they want to get done. Okay? So, I mean, it's just like, what are you talking about? You don't want him, stop. What are you holding my hand? Stop holding my hand. No, want you holding my hand? Don't you holding his hand? It's the time. The hand holding time is up. Come on,
Garry,
man.
Hey, how about this?
On, man?
You know this when you and I played. If you had a team that ran the ball for 209 yards, that game was over. It was never close.
That's right.
Now, I watched that game yesterday, and I first time came away with this. I don't know if I've ever watched a football game where a team had 7 yards of carry, had 209 yards in rushing, and it came down where the opposing team had the ball in their hand with a chance to beat you. That's a team that's going to be in the NFL draft in the top 5. I'm not sure I've ever seen that. Garry, are they catching up? Are they catching up now with the way to beat Philly is to make that passing game have to beat you, because that 209 almost wasn't enough to win that game.
Come on. They needed to execute a couple of passes there at the end to get the first down. They couldn't do that.
Sack.
Come on. Couldn't even do that. I mean, now, and I know that, hey, the game is not easy. Come on, everybody knows the game is not easy. But look, right now, this is not the time for holding people's hand, okay? You got to get the job done right now, and that means everybody takes a look in the mirror, and you sit down, look at the tape, and you got to make the corrections, and you got to do the job. What are you seeing? What are you not seeing? You got this guy's open on this. Why didn't you see this guy? And and at the same time, this is a team sport, and all these guys know it's a team sport. They're rooting for Jalen to play the best football he can play, and it's not about just him because they know everybody else has got to play a hand in it. And so guys are trying to do their job, but ultimately, if he's not making the right read and he's not seeing guys that are open and getting the ball to them, they know, hey, this ultimately is going to decide our season because we got to play at the top level of our game, especially down the stretch. We've got to do that if we are going to go where we want to go. And we know we got to beat some good teams. Now, are they capable of beating them? I think they're capable of beating these teams, but they got to be playing at their best. And I could see, hey, the passing game isn't where it needs to be at. And they got to tighten it up. And when I look at it, if they're calling routes like that corner route, like, what is it you didn't see? I mean, like, hey, let's go back through it. And, I've sat in meeting rooms and been chewed out. Come on. Who's played the game hasn't been. But you got to do the job, man.
Yeah.
You got to do the job. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. And when you sit down there and look at the tape, you cannot hide. When they put that tape on, man, you can't hide anywhere. Either you were doing your job or you were not doing your job.
Gary, on a DEFCON level right now, between 1 and 5, and 5 being the most concerning, how big of a problem is Jake Elliott right now becoming now? Where, again, especially if your pass offense right now is struggling right now.
Yeah.
And here was a guy that was automatic, and he's taking some of the aggressiveness away from Nick on what they would do in special teams right now. How concerning is that right now with Jake Elliott?
Well, I think you got to think, I mean, if it's not 5, it's either 3 or 4. I mean, it'd be nice some say, but when you're with the game on the line and you had a guy you used to say, boom, 50 yards, hey, go out there. We believe in him. Well, right now, they're basically saying right now, we do not. We do not. I mean, and he's got to show himself. You got some games down the line. Hopefully he gets himself together and has his confidence. But, that's going to be vitally important because, one of the reasons they won the Baltimore game was that Baltimore's got that problem.
Yep.
With these games, you start playing playoff games, some of these games are going to be decided by a field goal. Somebody's staying and somebody's going home because one team hit a field goal, the other team didn't. That's what's just going to come down to. And, it's fun. It's kind of thing where, hey, is somebody going to die over this? No, But this is important when you're talking about, you want to start talking about football and the NFL. It's going to come down to that. It's going to be a matter of, do the Eagles get these things corrected? Now, I don't know what they do, to get in his head to where he develops that confidence, because a lot of that is what it is, and when you got a kicker he's rolling and he's confident, man, and everybody's confident in him. Right now, they've got to get that. But hopefully they can give him a chance to take some kicks, in the next few games where he can kind of get his confidence back, because clearly that's been damaged. And but the fun thing is, I was over there at the game yesterday. I'm trying to I just tell myself, just shut up. Just shut up. Because these are obvious things, but of course I didn't shut up. I'm talking to the guys because you can see this obvious. And the problems with the passing game. I didn't need AJ to tell me that after the game was over. That's why I'm going like, what did he do wrong? He's saying the obvious that all of us are sitting going, what is wrong with the passing game? Come on, man.
I gotta ask you two last questions here.
And you know what? If you're really saying something, that we got so many people around here acting like they everybody's little kindergarten teacher. Oh, don't say, you know, you're gonna little Johnny. Look, we don't have time to be holding people's hand, man. We do not have time for that. This game is coming down to this season is coming down to the wire. Everybody got to do their job, and a guy that's not doing their job, come on,
Garry,
man.
help me out on this.
Yes.
The Philly media used to annihilate McNabb, right? Didn't they annihilate him when he effed up in a game? Didn't they annihilate him? Why are they so fragile with Jalen Hurts in any kind of negativity or anything? Where did that come? I mean, am I wrong? Help me out here because you've been covering that. Didn't they annihilate McNabb?
Hey, you better watch out, or Donovan's gonna be calling on the phone now, man. but yeah, he got it. And really, everybody comes to Philly. If you don't do your job, you don't have to go wait for the coach the next day to find out you're not doing your job.
Yeah, but it seems that Jalen gets a hall pass.
Well, there are people, trying to defend him. I mean, and in fairness to Jalen, he helps him with his legs. Even if he's not throwing the ball, he makes some big runs and everything. And that's a big part of their game and everything. But they need him playing at his best. And he knows this. If he's playing at his best, they got a shot to win this whole thing. If he's not, then you know what? You might well know this party, it's not over yet, but it's going to be over soon. Okay? So that's the deal. And that's the fun of it and everything. And that's really the fun part of Philadelphia is, like I said, you don't have to wait to look at the tape. They're telling you know what? Such and such you play like,
Yeah.
You're going to hear it when you're walking out of the gate. You know what I mean? You'll have a little kid go, you screwed up today.
Hey, Garry, I saw something in the game on Sunday, and you tell me if this is going to start concerning you as you finish up these 5 and get ready to go into the postseason. I saw Nolan Smith get picked up and thrown on his bucket by those guys, and they weren't setting the edge over on that side. Yeah. And now that you're going to ask him to have more volume of reps, I'm wondering if that's going to lower production because there's only a 3-man rotation out there. I don't know what Huff is going to look like when he comes back. I don't even know if he's going to come back. But right now they're rotating with 3 guys. Is that something to keep an eye on as you're moving towards the playoffs here? Because you got a lot of young guys out there right now. You've got Josh Sweat, you've got Nolan Smith, and you got a lot of youth in Jalix Hunt. Can those guys hold up for the battle? Because you got to set the edge in the NFL if you're going to be successful on defense.
Well, that's going to be a challenge. And I think that, the point you make is something I saw yesterday too, which is, you're going in against the Panthers and, the Panthers have some strong parts of their game, and they really –
their O-line.
Yeah, that O-line, you're right. That's a strong part of their game. So it's going to be a challenge. It's something that they're going to have to make corrections. They got to play those runs better. They got to do a better job against the run than they did, on Sunday. So I think that all those guys on the defensive line, a lot of them are sitting in the meeting room now. Some of them getting chewed out right now as we're sitting here talking, because like I said, we've been through this, and nobody's giving you a break. And you don't want anybody to give you a break because you don't want to be the guy let the team down. You want coaches that's going to be straight up with you and say, hey, look, run that back. Such and such, what are you doing? This is not going to get it done, and they know that. And so I think, especially, looking at Jalen there, come on. He knows he's got to play at the top of his game, and he wants to in order for this team to go where they want to go. And it's just that simple. You don't have to, like I said, later for the hand holding and the patting people on the head. We don't need none of that, man.
Hey, I'm gonna leave you with this one last question to you, and you tell me if Jalen Hurts was in Pittsburgh and he had Russell Wilson as a backup, do you think Mike Tomlin would have benched Jalen Hurts for his inability to move the passing game? Because remember something, this year
Yeah.
Justin Fields was 4-1, and he benched him because he wasn't getting enough in the passing game. And they really don't even have near the skilled people that they have in Philadelphia.
That's right.
Does this really just come down to the org? I mean, Gary, do you agree? He's played poor enough where you could have benched him a couple games.
Well, you could, but they don't have anybody in back of him.
That's right. They don't. They don't have anybody behind him.
No, that's right. So, but what you're saying, I think that without a doubt, he knows there are times when you're going like, I mean, during the season, I'm going, man, what is going on with the passing game, man? I didn't just say it yesterday. Looking at the season, going like they are capable of playing better than that. Because if you look at the talent they've got, you got these receivers. I mean, a group that can match just about anybody in the league. So ultimately, and I think, Jalen knows this. That's why I'm sure he's not comfortable with this. He knows he got to play better. And the whole thing is, I know the coaches, they better know what they need to do to get things turned around, or, we're just blowing smoke, man. Talking, you're blowing smoke talking about who you say you're going to beat. They're not just going to beat them just with their passing game. The thing they're going to do is they're going to beat them with the combination of their passing game and their running game.
Absolutely.
That's my grandson up there yelling at me. But
hey, Gary, absolutely awesome stuff, man. I can't wait to see this Pittsburgh game. It's going to be quite interesting.
That's going to be a good one.
Hey, I'm in agreement with you here, man. I mean, this is one of the times.
Hopefully they get it together, man. Hopefully they get it together.
Hey, I'm with you on this one with AJ. I didn't know going like this. Hey, man, I'm wide open. I mean, I'm the 42nd targeted guy in the league now, and I make $35 million. I thought you're paying me to make plays for you and help the off. Gary, didn't you take it this way? I didn't think that he was bitching about targets. I thought he was bitching more about, hey, I want to help make this team win more games too. That's how I took it.
I heard AJ just the other week. He's saying, you know what? I don't mind us changing the game and making us a running game because I see Saquon and how effective he is. That's why I'm trying to get a block, let him take it to the house. So he's saying, we know we're going to run the ball more, and I have no problem with that because I want to win. Now he knows at the same time, they need to contribute if they're going to really win. That means that passing game is going to need to do their job. So all he's doing is saying like it is and being a team player. And I have no problem with everything he had to say.
Absolutely. Gary, I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
You got it. It's great Gary Cobb. Don't forget to check him out on Fox 29 in Philadelphia. I see 85 saying, what's the difference between Panthers and Chiefs? Because the Panthers had taken the Chiefs to the limit as well. I'll tell you the difference. Xavier Worthy, Noah Gray, Rashee Rice, Justin Watson. Those are the receivers, and the tight end, Kelsey, who's not going to have 1,000 yards this year. And, of course, Patrick Mahomes. They win with dudes. You have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley in the best offensive line in pro football. That's the difference. You have an all-star offense in personnel. That's the difference. Okay? That's the difference.